Hello students, this is your tutor Asif Ashraf. Today we will discuss some of the exam tips which are very important for some of you guys. If you follow these instructions, definitely you're going to pass the exam. This is my guarantee. Step by step, if I break this lecture, we have some different segments. First of all, we will discuss about the syllabus. The very important aspect of this SBR is the completion of whole syllabus. Now you all know that the SBR syllabus is a bit lengthy, not a bit lengthy, a very lengthy syllabus. So majority of students find it difficult to complete the whole syllabus. For the simplicity, I divide it in different groups. So I'll recommend you guys to prepare yourself according to these groups. So you all know this is the reporting paper, this is an accounting paper, and you have to complete the syllabus, you have to prepare the complete length and breadth of the syllabus. So you all know that this paper is mainly related with the different accounting standards. So if first of all, I am dividing the accounting standards in different groups, like you see in group 1. In group 1, I have placed a very simple and very, you can say, an easy accounting standards, which you have studied in your previous studies paper like F7 or FR. These are IS 1, 2, you know IS 1 presentation of financial statements, 2 inventory, 8, 10, 20, 23, 40, 41. These are the relatively easier one accounting standard, but don't apply enough time or more time on these accounting standards, as these are very simple ones. So go through these accounting standards and just have an understanding of this, because you already know about these accounting standards. If I select 1 or 2 accounting standard from this group, definitely I'll go for IS 8. This is a very important one. You can have a question from this accounting standard, IS 8, or it may be IS 40 or IS 23 or 20. Then if I move towards group 2, in group 2, I placed some mediocre level difficult accounting standards. These all accounting standards, they also you have studied in your previous papers like IS 16 PPE, IS 36, 37, 38, IFRS 5 and IFRS 13. Although I have placed IS 24, but if you don't want to place it here, it's okay. IS 24 is related with related party disclosures. Okay, so for your simplicity, I am placing IS 24 here. Now in these group 2, IS 16, 36, 37, 38, IFRS 5 and IFRS 13, these are the basic accounting standards of this paper syllabus. Now what students often do, they basically perceive that they know about these accounting standards and they just go through these accounting standards quickly and move on towards more difficult accounting standards. This is their biggest mistake, because I am teaching this paper for the last 15 years and I haven't seen any paper in which at least 20 to 25 marks will be from these accounting standards, the basic accounting standards. Like IS 38, you know, is the very favorite area of the examiner. Like we can have a question from IFRS 13, we can have a question from IFRS 5. So my recommendation would be, when you complete the group 2, these accounting standards, go for your practice questions and your reviewing and get and practice as much questions as you can from these accounting standards. Now, if you move towards group 3 has a bit, not bit, the most difficult part of the syllabus, the big ones. This part includes IFRS 15, revenue, 16 leases, IFRS 9. I have just written IFRS 9. You know, the other accounting standards are also related with financial instruments. I am basically talking about financial instruments. IFRS 2 share-based payments, IAS 12 tax, and IAS 19. These six accounting standards are often perceived to be the most difficult accounting standard of your syllabus, especially IFRS 9 and financial instruments. IFRS 15 is a very favorite area for this the examiner. As you know, revenue is a part of almost all types, not almost, definitely every corporate industry or every corporate company has a revenue. So definitely revenue has a vast implication. So that is why IFRS 15 is very much likely examinable. So try to spend more and more time on group 3. But again, first you prepare group 3, all these accounting standards, then the practice is very much important. You know what the students often do? They just memorize the accounting standards and they perceive that, yes, we have done the preparation, and when we will see in the exam paper, we will just write or reproduce the accounting standards over there. No, you will not get enough marks over there. This is not the paper of your memory. This is the paper of your application, the understanding of your concepts, the application of your knowledge, and what you have understood in this paper. Next is group 4. If you see, this group 4 is the most important part of your paper. Definitely, group 4 is related with group accounting. And you know about it, the question 1 of your syllabus is basically based on group 1, the group accounting. So number of accounting standards deal with the group accounting, like IFRS 3, IFRS 10, 11, then IFRS 8, IAS 27, IAS 21, and IAS 28, and IAS 24 is also here, related party disclosure. So you can expect at least 30 plus marks from this area. This is the key. But the good point is, yes, in this part, you have some easier or some manageable syllabus here. You can say that you can easily understand the concept and you will be able to apply those concepts. But it is a vast area, group 4. So you need to prepare each and every the items of the syllabus on the group 4. Then group 5, the most you can say controversial area of this paper. Group 5 is related with current issues and other reporting issues. So we will discuss these current issues and other reporting issues in a bit while. So this is how you will prepare your paper. This is my recommendation. If you prepare this paper in these 5 steps, this is my guarantee, you will be able to pass this marks definitely. So this was the first portion in which we have dissected the syllabus of SBR. Now I will dissect the paper. As you know that we have 4 questions in this paper. Question 1, 30 marks, 28 to 30 marks. Question 2, 20 marks. This makes section A. Then we have section B, question 3, and question 4, 25 marks each. Now, there are some parts in each question. Some parts may be of 9 to 10 marks, some parts may be of 5 to 6 marks, some parts may be 7 to 8 marks. Now, this is the point. Try to understand this logic. Maximum students basically complain that they don't have any choice in SBR. So that is why it is very difficult, or it is very hard to solve the complete paper, or it is very hard to prepare the syllabus. But if you see here, I am just basically taking the average for each part, 8 marks. For example, I have basically taken that some parts will be of 5 to 6 marks, some parts will be of 9 to 10 marks. So on average, there will be a part, each part will be of 7 to 8 marks. So according to this, we have total number of on the average 13 parts. So now in each and every paper, even if you say that this is the most difficult attempt, this pattern will not change. Definitely you will have 4 parts, at least of 32 marks weightage, which will be an easier one for you guys. If any person opts for this paper and he decides to sit in the exam and he goes in the exam with a minimum preparation, he can solve these 4 parts. But as you have basically spent some money on your paper setting, so definitely you will prepare it well. So my recommendation would be choose your best 4 parts. Choose your best 4 parts which you can solve it. And try to get as much as you can. At least 27 to 28 marks you should get. Now, what students basically they do, they think that our best bet is that we can take only 15 to 16 marks from our best prepared area. No, this is not the case. If you want to pass the paper, at least try to make some of the area of syllabus your favorite one. Some of the area of your syllabus, you can say the very well prepared. So out of these 432, definitely you should get 27 to 28 marks. And this is not a difficult task. I am saying you have to do this only for 4 parts. Rest, next 4 parts. Definitely these 4 parts will be challenging ones. These will not be the easier ones. These will be challenging ones. And above average student can solve this part, these 4 parts. I'm not saying that you will be able to basically completely or accurately solve these 4 parts, but definitely if you are an above average, you have an above average preparation, you should get at least 16 to 18 marks. So if you solve these 8 parts out of 64 marks paper, you will be able to get at least 43 to 45 or 46 marks. So now you need to take only 2 to 5 marks or 2 to 6 marks out of 38 remaining marks. So who says that you don't have any choice in this paper? You have a very much choice. It's a choice between an easier one and a difficult one. That's it. You yourself will decide which question should I do first. Which question is which part is my best bet? So if out of 38, you will be able to solve 20 plus marks, you can easily pass this paper. So even if you see the paper that there are some parts like 12 to 15 marks of the paper which you don't understand, please don't panic. Don't panic in that situation. Don't lose your confidence. Try to solve this paper like what I'm saying. And you will be able to pass this exam even if you solve the paper, let's say in the range of 80 to 85 marks. Now, you will ask the question, sir, how is it possible that we can get some maximum marks from any part? Listen this point very carefully. As you know, this is the paper of business reporting, strategic business reporting relating with some accounting issues and its application. Here, unfortunately, calculation will be of very minimal marks. You can have maximum of 10 to 15 marks of calculation. The rest, your paper will be purely discussion. So if I break an 8 marks part in different dissection, if I dissect it, then first of all, you have to identify which principle is relevant here. For example, if you read the scenario and you perceive that this scenario is related with IAS 38 intangibles, then definitely discuss the principle, discuss some of the parts of IAS 38. And if you discuss it well, you will be able to get 2 to 3 marks. A good discussion will grant you not more than 2 to 3 marks. That's it. If you say that you will discuss a lot of IAS 38 and you will be able to get 8 out of 8 marks, no. If you discuss relevant parts, you will be able to get 2 to 3 marks. Then application of the principle, linking the principle to the scenario. And in this case, try to link the principle onto the scenario. try to use the information given in scenario when you are discussing it. And if you will be able to apply it, you will get at least 2 marks for that one. Then third point is the treatment. Definitely, in majority of cases, you have to basically discuss accounting treatment or ethical treatment or some other kind of the treatment of different issues. You have to basically discuss the treatment. And lastly, any additional point, if you see that you have to give some additional information or additional point, this makes the roughly bifurcation of 8 marks. So if you just present the 4 parts in this manner, you will be able to get easily 27 to 28 marks. Got the point? Next is definitely, this is one of the most important point which often students ask, sir, we are not getting the requirement understanding. Okay. Sometimes you see in a requirement, you will see that explain with notes the different issues discussed above in this scenario. Now, explain with notes. Even if you are being provided with some, let's say IS 19 scenario, let's say IFRS 9 scenario, let's say IFRS 3 business combination scenario, please, when you see explain with the notes, please do not focus solely on calculation. Let's say if you solely focus on calculation, you will lose hugely. You will heavily lose the marks. It is the beauty of this paper that if you see the difficulty in calculation, you can get the marks by discussing those points. For example, if I discuss with you IS 19, we all know that in IS 19 we have plan asset and plan obligation. So we can discuss the current service cost, we can discuss past service cost, explain past service cost, explain current service cost, explain the treatment. Now, what is actuarial gains, with what is the treatment of actuarial gains or losses, what is net interest component, what is asset ceiling, like these kind of explanation is required. So don't focus solely on calculation. And if you have been provided or we have been given that analyze something. Now, analysis or analyze is basically requirement. You can say it may be in question 1 or question number 4. You will be given a scenario and it may be that you have to perform some small calculation and then you have to find out the impact of this calculation or certain situation on given scenario. Now, please focus on this thing. When you have been asked to analyze something, you have to find out the impacts. Like we have some certain changes in accounting standard. Now you have to analyze the impact of those changes on any relevant accounting standard. This is analysis. So properly understand the question. Analysis means that you have to discuss the impact of situation on scenario. Point number 3, if you have been asked to calculate, go for calculation. Then there is no need to explain those calculations, because if you see, if you say that you have a part, let's say calculate the goodwill, 4 marks, then just go for calculation. Similarly, when you see that there is a question like discuss the sustainability concept, then don't need to apply the sustainability concept on a given scenario. Just discuss it. Just discuss it generally. So this is how you can improve your presentation and you can improve the quality of your paper, your quality of your answers. Now, the next point is, the student often asks me, sir, what should be the sequence of the questions? It should be question number 1 and question number 2 always, because you know this is section A and this is the core area of your syllabus. Question 1 is basically based on consolidation plus some accounting standard, and question 2 is based on some ethical and accounting standard issues. So my recommendation would be, do not break the sequence, just do the section A completely and get the maximum marks out of this section, because this is the core area. Then if we move towards section B is the difficult one. The question 3, you know, question 3 is basically based on multiple accounting standards question. This is the most difficult accounting, the question of this paper. If you see the examiner reports of the past papers, examiner frequently observed that the most difficult or most, you can say, the less presented or less well prepared question of the paper was question 3. It will be a very difficult question. Question number 4, it will be based on current issues. Now, definitely question number 3 will challenge you. But if you stick to this principle, you can be able to get maximum marks out of it. Like, discuss the principles, then link the principle to the scenario, treatment, and additional points. If you focus on these 4 points, even in the most difficult situation or most difficult part, you will be able to get reasonable marks. For example, if you see in a part, you have a question from IFRS 9 financial instruments, let's say it is derivative part, or it is from embedded derivative, and you basically just have the understanding what is embedded derivatives and what is the accounting treatment, but you are not able to apply this knowledge on the given scenario. Now, what you should do, at least explain the principle. And if it is a part of 8 marks or 7 marks, then you should be able to at least get 2 to 3 marks. So this is how you can take the marks from those areas which are difficult ones. Now, current issues. This is the point, the most controversial points. Common current issues topic. I will recommend you guys to please prepare your current issues like in this sequence. First of all, don't leave criticism. You see, at the end of each accounting standard, you will have a criticism or drawbacks or limitation of the accounting standard. For example, IFRS 9 has some limitation, IFRS 15 has, 16 has, IFRS 2 has, IFRS 12 has. Some of the accounting standards have limitations. Do not leave those criticism and drawbacks. You can have a part from this area in your question number 4, and believe you me, these are the straightforward marks. For example, if you see in question number 4, 7 to 8 marks criticism of relevant accounting IFRS 15, and if you remember the criticism, you just type it down and you will have full marks. Now, proposed amendments. You should be well prepared. Go for technical articles. Keep an eye on the proposed amendments and read all the amendments in your syllabus or in your books. Then the third part is exposure drafts and conceptual framework and IS1 presentation, like profit and loss and OCI discussion, classification, reclassification, and to profit and loss or non-reclassification. These kind of discussion. Then we have other reporting issues. This is the area which is now gaining very much importance in the eyes of the examiner nowadays. Students often see that current issue is related with proposed amendment. They often perceive that current issue is related with conceptual framework. No, current issue is related with criticism of accounting standard. Current issue is related with other reporting framework issues like integrated reporting framework, sustainability, environmental reporting, IFRS for SMEs. IFRS 1 is the first time adoption of accounting standards. Then performance measurements. It is also a part of, it can be also a part of question number 4, in which, okay, this is not the performance measurement which you have done in a previous paper like F5, F7 or F9. No, it is not like that. In this case, definitely you have to analyze or you have to discuss the performance in a given scenario. It will be non-financially, it may be financially, and some additional indicators like, for example, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization. What will be the usage? What will be its impact for the stakeholders? So these kind of discussion is generally required. So prepare your current issues in this sequence. Now the changes in accounting, the changes in our syllabus. Although SBR syllabus has not been changed very much, but it has some changes. Like the first one, we have IS 19. although those areas were present over there, but now focus on these areas, because previously the students' focus was on pension, post-employment pension benefit plan like contribution plan or employment benefit plan. But after changes, you should focus on the treatment of short-term benefits and long-term benefits like termination benefits. So focus on these three areas as well. What will be the treatment of short-term bonuses? What will be the treatment of holiday leaves? What will be the treatment of sick leaves? What will be the treatment if you have been terminated, if you have terminated some of the employees? What will be the treatment if you have basically some long-term benefits to pay? Then we have some new area. This is very important, and this is current issue as well. Employability and skills section. As you know that in a current environment, in the pandemic situation, work from home is almost everywhere around the world. So if you are an employee, definitely you need some skills, and those skills is basically now a part of your SBR syllabus. So what are the skills required for your employability? Definitely, this is the part which is basically added. And integrated reporting, focus on stakeholders' perspective. Previously, integrated reporting was basically framework was discussed as what should be in it, what will be discussed in it. But now the more focus will be on stakeholders' perspective. How different stakeholders will perceive this integrated report, or how we can basically discuss the key aspects relating to stakeholders in the integrated reporting. Then very important one, digital assets. These are the new inclusions. What is digital asset? Digital asset is anyone basically which is stored on your net, on your computers. Like for example, I am delivering you a lecture and I'll save this lecture. This lecture will be a digital asset for me. So like this is the age of digital assets, and definitely companies have a lot of digital assets nowadays. So this is now a part of your accounting. Very, very important one. And the last one is global environment in pandemic and challenges to the accountants. These are the questions you can say in the pandemic situation. Definitely this is normal, not a normal situation. Pandemic situation is a contingency, is basically you can say there is a lot of vulnerability in our accounting environment. So what are the challenges which basically we are facing as an accountant, and what should we do? So these are the changes in the syllabus. Now, for these purpose, I'll recommend you to at least read the technical articles. These technical articles are present in your accglobal.com website. The first one is definitely very important one, crowdfunding and impairment of financial assets. Crowdfunding is, for example, if you are going to acquire a subsidiary and you are going to issue the loan notes. Okay, so now here you are issuing the loan notes, not single as a single entity. You are basically a different, let's say for example, as a group or as a number of entities, you are issuing loan notes. Similarly, if you have financed some acquisition through loan, and number of banks have financed this acquisition. Similarly, if you have financed the acquisition through equity, and not one shareholder, multiple shareholders have basically announced or financed this acquisition, this is crowdfunding. So crowdfunding, the impact of crowdfunding definitely on group accounting, it is nowadays a key part of your syllabus. So I will recommend you guys to please go through this topic. Next, business combination and accounting consideration of natural disaster. This is what I have told you already. Onerous contract, IFRS 16. Climate related disclosures. Climate related, you know, environment and climate is nowadays a very important one. So sustainability, environmental reporting, just read these issues. And lastly, accounting ethics in digital age. As you see that Before pandemic, we were working in an environment where we were physically present. At that age, the accounting ethics were different. But now, as we see that we are basically doing work from home, or mainly the work is being done through online, so definitely accounting ethics would be some kind of different. So these are the recent current issues. Please focus on these one and the other ones. Other current issues are the most common current issues, which I will recommend you guys to please focus on these things. Digital currency, you know about it, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, digital asset, I told you earlier. Accounting in pandemic, integrated reporting focus on stakeholders, challenges for accountants in pandemic, and global environment in pandemic and challenges to accountants. Lastly, for those students who are basically giving the first time the computer-based examination for SBR, I will recommend them to please, in the last days of your preparation, instead of memorizing the relevant accounting standards or memorizing the current issues, practice at least 1 to 2 questions per day. If you say you have 10 days left or 15 days left, if you practice the questions on typing, you will be able to practice at least 15 to 20 questions before your paper. And this will definitely improve your typing speed, number one. Number two, there will not be a lot of calculation in this paper. So majority of your work will be on typing. But definitely, if you see some exhibit has some Excel sheet or spreadsheet, then you have to perform certain calculation. It will be easier one. Do not panic. And listen this carefully, that in this paper, calculations are not important one. The discussion is very much important. This is the exam tip. If you see that you have been stuck, you basically now stuck in some calculation, do not panic. Just discuss the part in your explanation. You will get a reasonable credit for this one. And then lastly, I am giving you a guaranteed package that I am not only your teacher, I am also basically your mentor. Now, what is the role of mentoring is, if you answer your questions, if you are practicing the past papers and you are typing the answers, just send it to me. I will check those answers and I'll basically sort out your mistakes, and I will recommend you to improve the specific areas. And this is my bet, this is my guarantee, that after 4 to 5 questions, you will be able to understand how the answer should be presented. This paper is purely a presentation paper. If anybody has a poor presentation, then definitely it will be very difficult for him to pass the paper. So as a mentor, I will provide you this facility. You can send me your answer. I'll check your answers and I'll basically sort out your mistakes and recommend you the further questions. And this is my guarantee. This is the guarantee I have given you. I'm giving you that after 5 to 6 questions, if you follow my steps, if you follow my sorting out your mistake steps, then you will be able to be on the track of your presentation. You will come to know how to present your answer. You will come to know what to write. You will come to know what will be your mistake. You will come to know how to link a scenario with the principle. You will come to know how to present the accounting treatment. You will come to know how to perform or how to present the additional information. So I think this is the complete package which I have basically discussed in this lecture. We have dissected the syllabus, we have dissected the paper. I have basically shown you the most controversial part of this area, the current issues, and we have discussed a lot on this current issue. So hope for the best for those students who are basically going for the exams. Best of luck. See you soon.